Oh, hello. Welcome back to the show. We are doing it again, but this time we're heading down to the ACC, and I think this conference is one of the most interesting leagues in the entire country heading into 2026 because you've got Miami coming off a national championship game appearance and entering the season as the overwhelming preseason favorite. You got SMU bringing back Kevin Jennings. You got Louisville sitting there as a legitimate contender. You've got Clemson trying to get back to where everybody expects Clemson to be. You got Georgia Tech coming off another season outperforming expectations. And then you got Notre Dame sitting. They're not officially in the ACC, but we're going to cover them today as well. They're playing a lot of ACC opponents. And you really can't talk about the ACC, even though Notre Dame's independent, without talking about Notre Dame. So, first off, today we're breaking down four things: college football's biggest traps, Notre Dame, top five quarterbacks in the ACC, and the ACC predictions. Before I get into it, I want to talk about some news that has happened today. You got Keelan Russell, who is the starting quarterback at Alabama, officially named today. I think from what the spring has showed us, what fall camp has showed us, what we know about Keelan Russell, this is no surprise. In my opinion, I compare him to a Lamar Jackson type quarterback, a Jaden Daniels type quarterback. And I'm not going to dig too deep into it. Just want to hit it on the intro because, we hit up on it on the SEC episode, and you already know how I feel about Alabama. And when Keelan Russell, them boys are going to feast. Okay, I just want to say that. And then other news today is Nick Chubb, I'm not going to rank him, but one of the greatest Georgia running backs of all time, other than Herschel Walker, of course, and you can name a few others. But man, a great 8-year-long career. He had a couple Pro Bowls. Really successful. He got out his way before he got hurt. Really successful at Cleveland and really successful at the Texans. Now, Shawn, Collin, do y'all want to put any input on? And I know both of y'all probably do. I seen your video on TikTok today, Collin, about Keelan Russell, and you're an Alabama fan, Shawn. I know y'all definitely want to put any input on Keelan Russell, but go ahead, give me your input on the news that happened today with Keelan Russell and Nick Chubb.
You
Go ahead,
can
Shawn.
go ahead,
It's your
Tyler.
quarterback.
Nah, you go ahead. I'll chime in.
All
After.
right. Look, when you say that a certain guy is going to be the starting quarterback back in January, even though you have the older guy and everybody was still telling you, oh, no, that's definitely not decided. We don't know. Listen, I always knew. I always knew what the result was. At the end of the day, wasn't wrong. I was right, but I was early. Like at the end of the day, I just got to kind of sit here and be like, look, everything I've said about Keelan in this Alabama offense, it was true. It was true up to this point. Everything that I have said was going to happen has happened. And the bottom line is this. Some people maybe thought Austin Mack was going to be the starter because the ceiling is with Keelan Russell. And I talked about that in the last video. I don't need to talk about it anymore.
Well, guys, I mean, I don't really have much to say. I mean, we knew it was going to be a good quarterback battle. I think, talent won this quarterback battle. I don't think it was really, about more experience and who was going into there. You know, I think that, Kalen DeBoer or Kalen, my bad, Kalen DeBoer, I think he was, we was going through the scrimmages and stuff like that. And, I think, you can't really keep the talent off the field, So I think that's what kind of made the ultimate decision. So that's all I really got to say about it.
Yeah, I didn't get all of that, Shawn. Service is not on my side for this episode, but I'm gonna make sure I get out what needs to get out to the fans today. And sorry if anybody's listening and watching this and we're having troubles. We are changing into a new system. Bear with us; it's gonna get better. And we think this system is gonna be better in the long run. Uh, but with that being said, I think there was questions if Keelan didn't start, would he transfer? The only thing that really surprises me in this situation, it was always Keelan in the spring. It was always Keelan in the fall camp. The only thing that surprises me is that the coaching staff's not going to reward Austin Mack's loyalty and give him a shot at ECU. Maybe he's worse than we think he is. Don't kill me, Alabama fans. A lot of y'all wanted Keelan too. Don't take this the wrong way. But if a guy's that loyal to a team, there's a reason he's not the starter. Take the A out, take the scripted A off the jersey. But anyway, getting into that, I'm going to talk about the college football biggest traps. I tried to stick with the ACC when I went with this. I tried to stick with the college football playoff when we get in this because my thing when I got to thinking about this, I actually changed my the product I was going to put out for this segment at the last minute before the podcast. But I want to start with the college football playoff. You know, a trap. We look at these preseason AP poll rankings, and we look at the rosters, and we automatically think they're going to do what they did last year, and we start handing out playoff invitations before anybody has played a game, and we're doing it. And not the next episode, but the episode after that, we plan on making our playoff predictions. But I want to stick with ACC, and we'll start with Miami since this show's about the ACC. Look, I understand why everybody loves Miami. They went all the way to the national championship. And the trap is just because you're in the top 10 or just because you went to the playoffs last year, it doesn't mean you're automatically going back. But I'll use Miami as an example. I'm going to try to use all ACC as an example since that's what this show is about. They have Darian Mensah at the quarterback. And the ACC media didn't just pick Miami to win the conference. They picked them by a massive margin. Miami received 165 first-place votes in the ACC preseason poll and finished well ahead of teams like SMU, Louisville, Clemson, which we'll all talk about today. So I'm not sitting here trying to tell you Miami's not good. Miami is absolutely good. The trap. Here's the trap. People are treating Miami's return to the college football playoff like it's already written in ink. People are treating, excuse me, people are treating Oregon's return to the college football
You need
playoff
some
like it's
water.
already in ink. People, I got to finish my point first. People are going to treat Ohio State's college football playoff appearance like it's already written in ink. And Collin, you know it because you say Ole Miss is dog water. You say that whole team at Ole Miss is just a bunch of bums. But it isn't written in ink. It isn't written in ink that Alabama will
Oh,
return. It
man.
isn't written in ink that Miami's going to be back. It isn't written in ink that Indiana's going to be back. It isn't written in ink and Ohio State's going to be back. You're asking a team that just played for a national championship in Miami to maintain that level of consistency. You're asking a team that just won the national championship in Indiana to maintain that level of consistency. You're asking Oregon, who went to the semifinals, to maintain that level of consistency. You're asking Alabama, who went to the playoffs, to maintain that consistency. Don't get me wrong. I'm naming very good teams, and we all know what those teams are. I don't got to dig into that. Darian Mensah is one of the biggest reasons I'm buying in the Hurricanes. But that also means the pressure is completely different. He's not some unknown quarterback at Duke anymore. He's one of the faces. He's the face of the ACC and could be the face of college football. And I think Miami's a playoff contender, but I don't think you should confuse this. And I get this is my point, and I'm sorry I'm long-winded. I'm excited. I'm fired up. I'm locked, clocked, and dialed. But just because they're preseason AP top 10 does not mean they're an automatic lock. Just because their name is Ohio State, Miami, Indiana, Alabama, and what they did last year, that's not an automatic lock. And I'm telling you right now, that is a college football trap you don't need to fall into. Now I'm going to drink my Dasani.
All right. Well, that was a lot. Here's the thing. My trap is we're overvaluing returning production a little bit too much. I think that because of the success of 2023 Florida State, it kind of made people look at that ESPN Plus article about returning production and treating it like it's gospel. Let's keep one thing completely clear about this. Just you have a lot of production on your team returning does not necessarily mean that they will be as productive as they were the year before. Now, there has to be context to it. Returning production is a good supporting team that you're high on, but it is not the end-all be-all. Take him, for example, this year. Houston has a good amount of returning production, but that returning production won a lot of close games last year. What if that luck ends up flipping the other way? And don't get me wrong, pretty high on Houston, but hey, Houston could end up going 7-5, even with a lot of return.
All right, Shawn, you got anything you want to put in there, man?
I mean, y'all pretty much hit the nail on the head. I mean,
All right, hit us with your trap.
my trap, I'm gonna have it. Virginia Tech, man. Virginia Tech. And here's why, man. I think that James Franklin coming into that program, he also brought a lot of talent from Penn State with him. Do I think that they're going to win the ACC? No, but do I think that they're going to make some noise? Oh, 100%. I think that they make some noise. I mean, I think Georgia Tech also makes some noise, and I think they're a trap. I know that they lost their biggest production piece last year in Haynes King, who also showed out in the NFL, by the way. But I mean, and you also got to think Georgia Tech brought in Alberto Mendoza and Justice Haynes, both two very well-known figures in college football. And Justice Haynes did his thing last year at Michigan. I think he rushed for, I think it was like 700 yards last year for Michigan. I think he rushes for even more this year for Georgia Tech. So, I mean, that's two teams right there. I think, but I also think that a lot of people are sleeping on Clemson. I think everybody thinks they're falling off, but I think this is a year that they kind of, let it be known that they're still relevant. They're still one of the contenders for the ACC title.
So, I actually do got a subject where I want to talk about Clemson in one of my traps, but I think what I'm seeing is your trap. As look out for the first year head coaches. Just because they're first year head coaches doesn't mean they're not going to be successful. The only people first year head coach that people are really talking about is Lane Kiffin. But you have a John Summerall, you have a Matt Campbell, you have a James Franklin, who are all in very good situations. And I understand when we talk about y'all probably like, okay, Matt Campbell, I can see it. James Franklin, I can see it. But when the John Summerall, I know there's going to be some people in here that probably can't see it. But I've broke it down to Collin off the air in TikTok Live. And basically, if you look at it, there's a real world scenario where Florida goes 6-0 into that Texas game, and that's first year John Summerall. But go ahead, hit us with a trap, Collin.
All right, the second college football trap is that teams are not going to be successful or are going to be successful based on strength of schedule. Let's keep it a buck here. These teams end up getting exploited throughout 12 weekends of the season for what they're weak for, and they end up being able to play off of their strengths as well. It doesn't matter who you play. At the end of the day, we're going to find out who you are. You're going to tell me if Ohio State would have played a tougher schedule last year, they wouldn't have been in the playoff or potentially the Big Ten champion. And two, they would have 100% been in the playoff. No, it's not. It's not necessarily a guarantee. The thing is, even if you want to say that those results are going to be the same, or excuse me, those results will be different as far as which teams, whoever wins in the playoff is not going to change either. So when you're looking at these teams and you look at these previews and you put your expectations on teams simply based off of a schedule, nothing to do with the actual team on the field, you are doing yourself a disservice. Evaluate teams first and then evaluate
these. So I think when I go into my second trap, Don't believe these Cinderellas coming up in college football are just a nice story. I don't buy that. People think Indiana.
Second, that's your third, right?
I thought I already did my. I thought I already did my
Oh, yeah,
first one. But
you did too.
I don't buy that. SMU. You go to the ACC with it. You got SMU. You go to the Big 12. You got Texas Tech. SEC. I haven't really seen one like you can use Vanderbilt, but I'm not buying into Vanderbilt. But if you look at it, well, I'll keep it ACC and break it down. We know what Indiana did. We know what Texas Tech did. But the Mustangs have gone 14-2 in the ACC since joining the conference. Kevin Jennings is back. Indiana still got Signetti. Texas Tech still got a little money. So, I mean, I think these teams are going to survive. And the idea that these teams, these Texas Techs, Indianas, and SMUs are only cute Cinderella stories, because we got to remember SMU made the playoffs 2 years ago. That's a trap. Don't believe that. This isn't basketball. There are no Cinderellas in football, unfortunately.
Mm-mm. You're probably right, but I don't know. In a way, Indiana was a Cinderella last year, so that's just kind of
Yeah.
like the counter to that. But the thing is like it's an all season Cinderella. No, it's not like those situations where you have a 12 seed group of 5 team group of 6 now who's going to end up going and winning it all. Like that is the Cinderella that some people could think of, but ultimately if you want to make the Cinderella statement for college football, it seems like Indiana doing that. Like if Kentucky, for example, were to be able to do the same thing in 2032, that would be a Cinderella type of season in my eyes. And I think maybe to kind of avoid that type like trap conversation, we got to establish that difference when it comes to terms if we want to use the phrase Cinderella for college football.
And so, yeah. Shawn, you got any input you want to put on that? All right. I don't know if he's
We
having
cannot
bad
hear
connection.
Shawn. Yeah, we cannot hear
Oh,
Shawn.
so Collin, go ahead. Go ahead. Give us another trap.
Yeah,
You're like, I
Shawn, we
think.
can't hear you. I don't know if you got to drop or try to see if you can get better connection or something, but we can't hear you. My
Well, and
third and final trap. Oh, what were you going to say?
go ahead. I just want to apologize. I don't know how this product's going to come out. Like I said, we're trying something new. We're going to get it all figured out, guys. I promise. Go ahead.
Yeah, we will. My last trap is stats. Stats lie. Now, we were talking about this in TikTok Live yesterday, and there was a heated argument about this with a certain individual who literally had an opinion about one player compared to another. And because he was ignorant on the stats, back up with other, he ended up flipping his opinion just based on the stats. And he didn't have enough time to go and watch these games and make an evaluation for himself. He just changed his mind based on a situation. I think Shawn knows exactly what I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure Shawn was there for that. So yeah, because it was Shawn's live. Look, stats are a liar, man. If you want to go look at how somebody plays in a game and you're like, well, he went 20 for 35 and had 2 interceptions, put some context behind the lower-ish quarterback, and sometimes it's more on the quarterback than we realize.
So yeah, I'll hit on that, and I'm gonna give Shawn the opportunity to speak after I hit on that, and then if he's still having connection issues, I'll go ahead and hit my last one. But yeah, I'm just gonna break it down like this. Look, we talked about it in the Big Ten episode. Josh Hoover's a good quarterback. We all three agreed. Me, you, and Detroit, we all agreed. We know he's a good quarterback. We know the elephant in the room is the turnover situation. If you look at his turnovers, that'll tell you something different. But look, I don't have to sit here and be an analyst and analyze it when one of the best coaches in college football trusts this guy. if you look on his interceptions, you wouldn't trust him, but stats do lie. This dude's obviously a good quarterback. You look at the film, he's he's a gunslinger, and if you know what Indiana's becoming, they're not going to ask that much out of him. So that's an example I'm going to use of that. You're not going to get much disagreement with me out of this. I think stats are very, very good, but you can't base your whole opinion on stats. Shawn, are you there? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and give my last
He's
one.
got his microphone muted right now. So Shawn, if you're trying to talk, it's because you're on mute that we can't hear you.
While
Yourself.
he's
Anyway, let's go on.
while he's working on that, I'm gonna give my final trap. This might be my biggest one, and we all get behind the scenes and we make the blueprint, and I wanted to bring this up in either the ACC or the Big 12 episode, and I thought, let's do traps during the ACC episode, and the reason I did that is because there's this narrative. It's my biggest trap, and I'm a big believer in it, and I may be one of the very few, and this may be very opinionated, but I feel like there's this narrative that if you look at the Power Four conferences, only the SEC and Big Ten is getting multiple teams in, and I'm going to use this to get into our talking about the ACC because Miami's not the only ACC. I'll just break down the ACC real quick. Miami's not the only ACC team you're talking about when it comes to the playoffs. If it is, you're not paying attention. You're a casual. If the SEC and the Big Ten are the only two conferences you think that's got multiple teams that can make the playoffs, you're a casual because you're not paying attention to what's going on. You got SMU who is legitimate. Louisville has won at least 9 games in each of Jeff Brom's first 3 seasons and was picked third in the ACC preseason polls. And Georgia Tech, a team that I'm not high on, but then I really want to watch them. I'm watching them. The Yellow Jackets went 9-4 and 6-2 in the ACC last year, and they've made a couple moves. They finished above their preseason projection in every season under Brent Key. They were picked 5th this year. So I don't think the ACC is Miami and everybody else, and I don't think I have a problem with it. I do it myself. I don't think we should dog an ACC schedule. I think the ACC has a group of teams, and I'm not leaving out the Big 12 when I say this, but I'm warming up the episode, getting us ready to talk about this great conference. The ACC has a group of teams capable of making each other better, and that's exactly what makes that conference dangerous.
Yeah,
and in the Big 12 too.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be competitive within the ACC, and we're going to be able to see kind of early on what's going to happen as far as Louisville, the top tier team in the ACC. Man, they're going to be playing against Ole Miss. What's happened in that game, right? If we win that game, that'd be big. Now, I'm working on something over here that I just wanted to tease for the viewers over here. Yeah, I feel like now's the right time to kind of bring it up. We are working to try to get this going here, where I want to live stream during certain games, especially standalone type of games like we could have next week and 2 weeks from now with that Sunday game. And I'm not exactly which games, but what I'm working on here, I'm very excited. I'm just very excited to show everybody. And when you kind of put your work in to try to make these graphics and look for the viewer, just like I can edit different with it. I can run this clock. I can change where the ball is. I can mark the down and distance and ultimately change who has the ball. So I'm really excited to get into that. And John, I wonder if you're going to end up joining me for any of those live streams.
Yeah, I most definitely will. I'm an open book with the audience. I try to keep them involved as much as possible, and I want them to always know what's going on. And yeah, I think we can use it. You could use it for your personal gain. You have your own show, Boss CFB show. And I think it could be really good for our brand at the whole Hello Sports podcast here. And that's one reason we're having technical difficulties today. You see the potential that this new system can bring to us. I'm not a production guy. Most people that know me know that. Collin definitely knows that. I barely know how to do the green screen on TikTok, so people that have followed me so far, I really appreciate it. I'm not even touching the tip of the potential I could be touching because of how bad I am with production. But uh, so if we're having any technical difficulties, bear with us right now. Well, that's the reason we went to this new
Yeah,
system, and
it's going to get better. I
and
mean,
it,
shoot,
we
look
we
at me
really
compared to the Big Ten episode.
yeah, and so it may not look good right now. It may be the worst production episode we've ever had due to technical difficulties that Shawn's currently having. I've had them. You didn't see the warm up to the show, but it's gonna
Sean's
be better in the
Sean's
long
frozen.
run. Yes, he
I don't
left
even
the
know if
screen for
Sean
a
can
minute.
hear us,
Come
but
on.
Sean's frozen.
So with that getting in, I got everybody hyped for the ACC, but let's talk about Notre Dame. And before anybody gets technical with me, no, Notre Dame is not an ACC member, but Notre Dame plays enough ACC teams. They're affiliated with the ACC and every other sport except hockey. They're a Big Ten team in hockey, of course. So they're absolutely relevant to this conversation. And more importantly, Notre Dame enters 2026 as one of the best teams in America. They're ranked number 4 in the preseason AP Top 25, and I don't think the AP poll got that wrong. I think they are a top 4 team talent-wise. And I'm buying into Notre Dame. It's simple. I'm going to just give you my Notre Dame preview, and then you take the floor like I do and go crazy like I do and go off like I do, and then Collin's going to give me his feedback, and he's probably not going to disagree with me, but he might disagree with me if I say one negative thing about Notre Dame, because all I've heard out of him is Notre Dame's going to win the Natty, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not going to say anything bad about him too much. CJ Carr's back. Carr threw for 2,700 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions in 2025 with the best running back duo in the country. So they were a run-heavy team, and he still put up those numbers, and he was a freshman. That's pretty impressive. And he has another offseason under his belt. That's huge. I don't think Notre Dame needs him to suddenly become Superman either. They need him to take the next step, and I think that's where Notre Dame team can become dangerous now. I have a lot of faith in C.J. Carr so much where I think he could possibly be in New York at the end of the year. Now, here's where I'm pumping the brakes on Notre Dame. They lost Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price. Love was a monster last year. He finished the season with 1,300 yards, 18 rushing touchdowns, and 3 receiving touchdowns. You don't replace that production. You don't. So Notre Dame has to prove that it can maintain its physical identity without the same backfield. That's the biggest question for me. Because everybody knows what CJ Carr can do. Everybody knows Notre Dame has talent. But when you get into these games against Miami, SMU, BYU, you're going to have to be able to run the football and stay balanced. And this schedule is not a joke. I've called it a joke. A lot of the college football community looks at it as a joke. Notre Dame plays BYU on the road. That's not easy. It's not easy to play BYU on the road. They host SMU. SMU is a good football team, okay? And they host Miami. That's one speaks for itself. I mean, they just went to the national championship. That's 3 preseason ranked opponents. So if Notre Dame wants to make the playoff, they don't have the luxury of sleepwalking through the season like a lot of us make them out to be. And in that Miami game on November 7th, I'm circling it. Maybe in the future, Collin's already teased it. Maybe we can live stream that game, Miami versus Notre Dame. That'd be really nice. That's one of those games, man, I look forward to in the college football season. And I got it circled, okay? I got a lot of games circled. I don't know if I'm going to catch all of them, but I will be watching that Miami Notre Dame game. Please, God, don't let Alabama play at the same time. Because if both teams are sitting there with college football playoff aspirations, that game has massive natural implications. Okay, so I've rambled and rambled and rambled, and I'm good at rambling, and y'all are probably tired of hearing me ramble about Notre Dame. So here's my take. Here's where I land. I think Notre Dame is a legitimate national championship contender. I don't think they're unbeatable, and I do think the 2025 losses automatically disappear because they're ranked number 4. I don't think that either. Let me rephrase that. But with C.J. Carr back, Marcus Freeman continuing to build the program, taking it, elevating it, which I didn't think could be done after Brian Kelly left. And they hired Marcus Freeman in-house. What? That's a rabbit hole for another day. But the fact that they got Marcus Freeman in-house is crazy to me. I think Notre Dame is one of the deepest teams in the country. and they have a real shot to make another deep run. The question isn't whether Notre Dame is good enough; it's whether they can finish the job because when they get to the biggest games. Because as much as I've said that schedule is a little tough, they're not going to be battle tested to some of these SEC and Big Ten teams, and that does matter to me.
Yeah, so Notre Dame, man, I mean, there's a reason why their win total was 11.5. They easily the favorites, and then they have all that returning production, which I already said could be a stat that's completely misleading. But in Notre Dame's case, I don't believe it is, especially on that defense ball, man. I mean, I don't see a deeper front seven in America outside of Notre Dame. Maybe at the top end, like Oregon's better, but their front seven is in the two deep. And I also really like their secondary. Leonard Moore, potentially the best corner in America, and the receivers, man, they're going to be dead. Jordan Faison, really good after the catch. They're getting Jaden Greathouse back. I'm very high on board. They brought in Ohio State. And I'm hearing a little bit of stuff about a little lacrosse player named Matt Jeffrey over there shining as a receiver. Aeneas Williams, he's a guy, I got corrected on pronunciation there, by the way. Aeneas Williams, he's a guy that really needs to be able to become a more complete running back at the end of the day. He's only been used as a third down running back in the past, but all the feedback is he's kind of being able to complete that full picture. So I'm excited to see what Notre Dame looks like this year. Excuse me. I'm putting Notre Dame as the no one seed in the college football playoffs. So let's do we have any more to talk about with Notre Dame?
I agree with you. You named some names that I left out, and you hit the nail on the head. I have Notre Dame. I have them. I think I have them as a 1 or 2, but they're a 3 or 4 by the end of the season. I got it on this laptop, and I don't. I'm scared to get out and look, but. But with that being said, we can go ahead and get into the quarterback debates, and I'm telling you right now, man, this is like listen here,
Real quick. I did not put CJ Carr in this. I don't know if you did or not. I left him out.
No.
Okay.
Definitely. Look, this is the way I looked at it, and I'll let all the viewers know as well. Look, CJ Carr is a great quarterback, but at the end of the day, Notre Dame is independent. But I am not going to miss out on an opportunity to talk about a team as great as Notre Dame when we're previewing going into the season. I said what I said about Carr. You know how highly I think about Carr, and I struck on this. I struck strictly to ACC quarterbacks. And let me tell you, Collin, you don't need CJ Carr in this top 5 because this is a really good quarterback conference, okay?
Wait, it doesn't matter, though. He would be number 1 if he was involved in this.
But let me tell you, number 5, Steve Angeli. Steve Angeli comes over from Notre Dame. He brings legitimate high-level experience in Syracuse, and that's important to know when we talk about Steve Angeli. Syracuse is trying to
that.
What?
Put Steve Angeli 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I thought I had. I thought I was over here being the smartest guy in the room. It turns out we're both tied for that so far. Oh no, John froze. Resuming now. John, we're back.
Well, I had some technical difficulties. My power went out. But anyway, from what I understand, as me and Collin have agreed on something, and we both got Steve Angeli as our number 5 quarterback.
We both got Steve Angeli as our number 5 quarterback. I thought it was a pool. I thought it was the smartest thing I've ever done, and you're over here stealing my shine.
But I'll tell you this about Angeli. Maybe you've got his stats, but the dude, if he plays healthy and if he plays at the level I believe he can at Syracuse, that offense could be a lot more dangerous. He's not going to turn them into a playoff team, no, but the offense will be a lot more dangerous.
the difference between Angeli or Syracuse, excuse me, when Angeli was playing and when he was out, drastic difference in the team.
All
I
right.
heard an echo. There we go. We're fine. Shawn, who's your number 5 quarterback in the ACC?
I can't remember his name right now, but he plays for Pitt.
Mason
I really,
Heinschel.
yep. He's got a weird name. It's kind of hard to remember, but I like him a lot. And I think he plays really good ball. So that's why I have him at the 5 spot.
Yeah, I actually really thought about Mason Heinschel in that spot. It's just he doesn't have a lot of experience yet. I'm curious what that's going to look like. Who's calling us? Who the heck is calling on Oh Hello? And back off. Anyway, this is a live production. Go ahead, John, number 4.
I'm not getting any.
John, did your power go out?
Number
What's going
guy.
on here?
A lot.
His face is frozen. There, he's moving now. All right, John.
Hear me?
We can hear you, but you're just freezing a lot. Go ahead.
So at 4, I don't know if y'all heard any of that. At 4, CJ Bailey, this guy, I think people are going to talk about a lot more. He's got the size. The ACC preseason voting had Bailey fourth in the Player of the Year vote. Mensa, Kevin Jennings, and Louisville running back who's really, really good, Isaac Brown. And that's telling you this isn't just some quarterback I'm throwing list because I like the potential. There are people around the league who think a huge season, and I'm one of the analysts / fans that think he can.
I got CJ Bailey at number 4 as well. The kid has shown
Yeah,
up
we're about to have a clean
in a
sweep.
big way all the time. What?
We're about to have a clean sweep.
I don't know. I mean, will we? We'll see. But yeah, CJ Bailey, he's type of player that's just shine, a bright light in that NC State program that's kind of taken a dip as late. But he's also had real weapons, and he lost some of them. I know Justin Jolie was a really important tight end to him. He had Hollywood Smothers at running back, which played really well at times. And they also had Noah Rogers. And it's a tough hit to kind of lose those guys and see what can happen, what they're replacing them with. But CJ Bailey, number 4. Shawn.
Yeah, I actually got CJ Bailey in mine as well, but he's not number. He is not.
Trigger happen accidentally.
He's not number 4 actually, but
Oh no! Put it in there.
at my number 4, I'm gonna have somebody who I'm not as high on as everybody else is. Darian Mensa.
All right, so
That's pretty low. That's pretty low, man. I can't lie.
okay, so number 3. I'm not going to talk about Darren Mincy yet. Number 3, I'm kind of foreshadowing, but I'm not going to talk about him yet. Number 3, I'm just going to say Cal quarterback. I can't say his name.
JKS will be fine. You just said JKS.
JKS, and I'm going to tell you something. This guy might be too low on my list at number 3. He threw for 3,450 yards as a freshman, and he's back at Cal. 3,400 yards. That's serious production. And one of the strange things about ACC preseason voting is that JKS wasn't even included on the Player of the Year ballot, despite being one of the conference's best returning quarterbacks. So if you're sleeping on him, don't. That easy.
Is it that easy? Is it? Ooh. I might be sleeping on those because we got a little bit of change here. Kevin Jennings, number 3, is the guy I'm going to take. Kevin Jennings had a bad look in the playoff years ago with the interceptions, 2 pick sixes against Penn State on the road. But for the most part, outside of that, he's been a pretty steady hand ever since becoming the starter in that 2024 season. I think that he's definitely shown up in some big games. He showed up in overtime against Miami in a huge way, and throughout that game, Kevin Jennings is a stable piece and a very experienced quarterback that deserves certainly to be in the top 3 in my opinion. What about you?
This is where we actually agree, Collin. You see, I got Kevin Jennings in my 3rd spot as well. I'm very high on him. I like watching him at SMU, man. He's in that high-powered offense, man. He's in the right offense. That style of ball fits him very well, and I think that he has a even better year than what he had last year. So I'm ready to see what he does this year, man.
So I can give you a piggyback, and I can give piggyback off your take, and still get my number 2, because my number 2 is Kevin Jennings. Number 2 and number 1. This is where experience matters. Jennings has already done things that a lot of quarterbacks on this list haven't done. He's been through an ACC title race. He's been through the playoff. He's been through the pressure. And now he's entering his final season. It's time to build his draft stock up. SMU is also returning a significant amount to this roster, and the Mustangs avoid Miami, who I know Collin's high on, Shawn, a Dabo believer, Clemson. They avoid those 2 teams on the schedule. So if Jennings has his best season, SMU could possibly play him for the ACC championship, and that's my number 2, Kevin Jennings.
My number 2 is Sharon Kive Sanapolatelli, man. I'm showing off over here.
You knew how to say his name.
I had to go. I know how to say his name. Jaron Kive Sanapolatelli. This dude is the truth. I'm telling you this right now. In the 2028 NFL draft, he is going to be the number 1 overall pick. I am firm on that. I stand on business. One guy in Tuscaloosa can have an argument about that we talked about earlier. But other than that, I don't see this being competitive. This was the best true freshman quarterback last year, America, and now he's got better weapons. They bring in Ian Strong, who's a really good wide receiver over at kind of overshadowed by KJ Duff, still very good over at Rutgers. Chase Hendricks coming in from Ohio. He's a big playmaker, had a long touchdown of 70 yards against the Ohio State Buckeyes. You're talking about the defense in the nation, and he scored a 70-yard explosive touchdown on them. And then Cooper Perry is another receiver that you got to think about, who, because of injury, got thrust into playing time early in his career. He wasn't quite ready, but that experience is going to prove to be a really good experience for him, as he's going to be more ready to be a contributing role as a starter at Cal. And finally, the best tight end nobody talks about, Dorian Thomas. All of these weapons, man. Dorian Thomas transferring in from New Mexico. They got more weapons in a better coaching situation. Ron Rivera doing great things over at Cal. Jaron Kive Sanapolatelli at number 2.
All right, Shawn, let's hear it, bud.
He's only 10 minutes away.
All right, my number 2 spot, I got CJ Bailey.
Ooh. I already spoke on him. Go ahead, Shawn.
I'm very high on him. I think that he is a little underrated, but specifically because of everybody was saying he had to throw, he had ball to at the wide receiver, and they're saying that Hollywood was a great B option, so that took a little bit off of CJ, but I mean, CJ is still a great quarterback. He made great decisions with the ball. His football IQ is very high in my eyes. I mean, you can go watch the film yourself. But I mean, he's a great quarterback. and I think he really shines this year, man.
Yeah, I've already spoke. Y'all have
number
done named
one?
the guys I spoke on. Number one is pretty straightforward for me. It's Darian Mensah. The ACC preseason media agrees. Mensah was named the conference preseason player of the year, receiving 97 votes, while Kevin Jennings received 25. CJ Bailey received 15. Miami's overwhelmingly picked to win the conference, and but here's why I have him first. He's got the combination of talent. Number one, he's got talent. Number two, he's got experience. Number three, he's got situation. He's not walking into a rebuilding situation like he was at Duke. He's walking into Miami with championship expectations. They just played Indiana in the national championship, and that's why I think. And he's got the two best wide receivers in the ACC as his 1-2 option. If we want to rank top 5 wide receivers in the ACC, and that's why I think Mensah is the quarterback to beat in this conference. What he did at Duke with the average offensive line, imagine what he can do at Miami with the two best wide receivers in his conference and a good offensive line and a team that has national championship expectations under Mario Cristobal. That's pretty self-explanatory to me.
Yeah, I agree with you on number. Shawn's a lot lower on him than us, man. But the thing that I like most about Darian Mensah is his versatile skill set, which is something that you really don't much about quarterbacks. The quarterbacks, a lot of times, they really have major strengths and some pretty sizable weakness. Could go and poke hole in a lot of quarterbacks' games. There isn't something that I think Darian Mensah is absolutely elite, but I think he's very versatile in what he can do. He's very accurate with the football. He can make it every single throw. He's got a big arm. Consistent. That's a big thing with it. He's maybe not as consistent as some of the greats we've seen, but he's a very consistent passer. You mentioned Malachi Tony Barkay. He came in from Duke with Cooper Barkay. I think that those guys are going to be on the same type of level.
Why are they just giving up?
Dang. Jeez.
Say
Sorry,
it.
that's all
Say
your
it.
comment. What? Say what?
They're going to be on the same type of level as Jeremiah Smith and Chris Henry Jr.
They pointed down the path.
That's what I was going to say.
Oh, man. Well, it's true, but go ahead.
Okay, what's going on here with Shawn? I had the wrong one. But Shawn's just got a... Shawn, you there?
Hope he's there. We don't know who his number one is, and he's got Darian Mensah at 4.
Shawn? What's going on, dog? We got two Shawns in here, and neither of them are working.
If he doesn't respond in a second, I'm going to let you finish your point and go on into predictions.
I see some, but I don't hear a Shawn. So production.
What were you going to say?
We have to make a decision.
Did you lose
Do you
your whole
hear
track of
Shawn?
thought? I don't know if he's talking or
I
not.
can't even hear Shawn now. Can you hear Shawn or not? John.
No,
Jalen.
I can't hear him if he's. I can't hear him if he's
Yeah,
talking.
I can't hear him either.
So, what was your track of thought? You didn't even finish.
It is what it is. All right, we're just gonna move on. We don't need to talk about that. We can.
We were going to move on anyway. If Shawn comes back, we'll give him the opportunity to give his number one. I'm sure y'all are interested. If y'all are not, I'm interested because the dude put Darian Mensah at 4. All right, but it's time to put the predictions on the board. No more preseason polls. No more maybes. Let's make some picks. ACC championship game. All right, I'm taking Miami and SMU. I know Louisville was picked 3rd. I know Clemson's Clemson, but I think Miami has the best combination of quarterback play, roster, talent, overall ceiling, and I think SMU is the team that can take advantage of its schedule and make a run. That's and I'll hold my champion pick for them.
Yeah, I got Miami and Louisville, so we're kind of on the opposite side as one another with a second team there, but we see Miami getting there. And that
what
Yeah.
needed to do.
do you disagree? Do you think anybody else is a contender in that conference other than those three?
It was kind of
Let's see. Let me look at my rankings real quick.
And
I like Virginia.
specifically for the playoff. Hold up. Oh, the phone over here.
I think this is better now.
Yeah, it's your
So
audio
I'm
is
gonna
definitely
try.
good.
I just thought, well, we're going to end up
I'm gonna try to open up another tab. I think I lost my other tab when the internet went out. I'm gonna see if I can restore it, but I have. Oh yeah. Okay. Contenders.
Shawn,
All right.
who's your number one? Shawn, who's your number one quarterback?
Okay, it's the other kid's name, but the Saga Pubale, whatever. I don't know how to say it good. Anyway,
that's better than me.
Yeah, whatever his name is, I'm really high on him. And the reason why is because just go in the film room and watch the kid throw the ball, man. I mean, he's young. He's young, man, and I think that we see him. We seen what he did last year. I think he only goes up from here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see him.
Yeah.
I don't see him. Any momentum this year. I think he has a lot of momentum going into this year, actually, and I think he's poised to be a great football player. I don't know if he directly goes in a draft because I would like to see him be even more developed. But if he does, man, he's going to be a great either way.
Yeah. I love JKS. The one thing though is that I'm just so much higher on Darian Mensah than you. We could kind of get into that. So, who do you have in the ACC championship, Shawn?
As of right now, y'all probably gonna judge me hard for this, but as of right now, I'm gonna throw Clemson and I'm gonna throw Miami.
Clemson, bro. I'm done with this Clemson stuff, man. I'm done with it. All right. So Shawn,
We look at contenders. I'm sorry. Does Shawn have another one? He had to answer, but he missed.
No, you're good. You're good.
All right. So I look into contenders. You asked me who I seen outside of
Miami, SMU, and Louisville.
I really don't want to put the SMU and Louisville. I like Virginia. I have them missing the playoffs, so I don't know if I should put them as a sleeper or a contender. But I do have them going 11-1. But I have them sitting there at that 12 seeds, and they miss the playoffs. I think Clemson goes 10-2, but I think the committee is going to see how easy that is.
10-2 Clemson. Clemson.
Look,
championship for one of you. 10-2 Clemson. Are we serious right now?
So I'm on the same page as you when it comes to Clemson not being very good, and we've already talked about it. But the schedule, and this is me projecting, Clemson could go 5-7. I don't have them I have them at a very low floor. I understand
their schedule.
But
let's talk about their schedule.
Look at their schedule, Collin. It is very favorable.
It's very favorable. Like you can say I don't know to every single game they play, but at the end of the day, we're projecting, and I look at Clemson, and I think they're more talented than 10 of the teams they play.
Bro,
I don't know if it's going to cut my camera off, but I got their schedule right here.
Do you think that was the last year too? They got embarrassed at home against Syracuse last year, who was last place in that conference. I know.
I understand what you're saying, Collin.
I'm going to tell you this. Dabo Sweeney, he didn't go crazy in the portal, but he dabbled. I believe he got about 9 or 10 guys. He dabbled. If this works out for Dabo Sweeney, they can have a very good year, and Dabo Sweeney he may be a household name again. I mean, he already is. He won natties, but he has went downhill. And if this portal works for him, something he hasn't really dabbled in, and I'm thinking it will. They got the pieces they needed. This team could be really, really different. I mean, would you thought Clemson and Penn State would have been playing in the bowl game they did with the records they would have? You could say the same for Penn State. And Penn State's got a favorable schedule. I got them going 10-2 too because of their schedule.
I mean, that's all fine and dandy, but one of the traps that I told you about earlier was predicting teams based on their schedule. That's number one. And number two, like you look through this Clemson schedule, they probably will lose to LSU. I mean, let's just keep it a buck. I'm taking that.
Yeah, I have that as one of their
See, that's a flip flop, Collin.
I don't think it is, bro. And Vegas agrees with me. It's a 9.5 point spread right now.
You want me to tell you why it's a flip flop? Where's the game at?
Here's the thing about it when it comes to LSU. Here's the thing about it. Yeah, it's at Baton Rouge. Here's the thing about it when it comes to LSU. Shawn, you're too low on them. Collin, you're too high on them. All right, and y'all will argue about this until y'all are blue in the face, but I can be the middleman and sit here and say, Collin, they're not national championship contenders, and Shawn, stop that mess. They're better than 8-4. They're a talented team. They had a great defense last year, and now they got Lane Kiffin in the offense. Do you know how many games that defense came in? Now we gave them an offense. But Collin, they're not going to just magically go to the national championship in 1 year.
Why?
It's not going to happen. There's still questions with that team. I look at the SEC, and if I could sit here and honestly say LSU is I have the most confidence in LSU winning the national championship in the SEC. I could be as high on LSU as you are, but there's more talented teams than LSU right now in that conference alone.
That's fine. Let's back on with Clemson here. So they have a road game against LSU, a road game on Friday night. Hold on, let me finish. A road game on the Friday night against California. They play Miami. They play Virginia Tech. They play on the road back-to-back to Florida State and Syracuse. Then they play Georgia Tech. They play Carolina at the end of the year. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. You're telling me they're not losing at least 4 of those games?
No.
I have them losing to LSU and Miami. Now, we can go through every coin flip game. Yes, Stephen and Jelly could have the game of his life and beat Clemson.
Wait,
he doesn't have the supporting
time travel theory?
I mean, they did it last year. I know what you're about to make. They did do it last year.
What did they do last year?
Syracuse beat Clemson last year, I think. I'm pretty sure if my memory serves.
That would do with time travel theory. Do you know what time travel theory is in college football?
Oh,
it's the 3 time zones. It's the 3 time zones. They're having to travel at California. The guy that we all put Jaron Kivas on Politelli in the top 3. Shawn put him number 1. I put him number 2. You put him number 3. We didn't even make mention of Chris Vizina or Tate Reynolds or anybody in that quarterback room. They're going on the road to California, 3 time zones away, on a short
week.
I think
they're not losing that game, Collin.
They're losing that game.
Doing it.
It's a guarantee they're losing that game.
Hey.
I think more of a coin flip than a guarantee, but
it's a bash CFB hello guarantee. It's not a coin flip. They're winning. They're losing that game.
We're gonna have to make a call to Josh Pate because you're gonna have to wear his clown nose if this doesn't work out.
We're gonna have to agree to disagree on that one, Collin.
He wore the clown nose because of Sid being bad.
We're gonna have to agree to disagree on this one, guys. I don't see Cal coming out and beating Clemson like that, man. Clemson's always got a good defense. I just don't see it happening. But let's move on. Let's move on from this topic. I think that the time.
Yeah, so, obviously,
Virginia Tech.
Go ahead.
Virginia Tech's my sleeper. Okay.
There we go.
I think I talked about how I think Virginia is going to have a good season. Outside of Miami's the only ACC team I have in the playoff, but I think Virginia's going to have a good season. Louisville's going to have a good season. Clemson's going to have a good season. But I think we see a bunch of 9-3, 11-1, 10-2, and that's where things really don't work in the ACC's favor. And I can make any of those teams sleepers. And I also forgot the main one, SMU. But when it comes to sleepers, I like Virginia Tech. Uh, Virginia Tech is just that they got James Franklin. He brought in a lot of guys, and I hold them the same place I do with South Carolina in the SEC. Like I said about South Carolina the other day in the SEC, I have South Carolina going 5-7. I have Virginia Tech going 6-6. But this is a team that's got really, really high ceilings that could be 9-3, 10-2, and then you look at it and James Franklin brought in a good bit of guys in the transfer portal, and Virginia Tech is a good place to be at. It's not a terrible place to be at, and I have them as my sleeper.
They have a good
I
they
think
have a
they
good
I
could.
mean,
culture. They have a good culture over
I
there
don't
at Virginia Tech.
I don't disagree with you, but my sleepers are California, Virginia, and Syracuse. And I actually wrote down Virginia Tech as one of my pretenders, and here's exactly why. The public is largely agreeing with you. So nobody's really sleeping on Virginia Tech and some of the capabilities of Virginia Tech that I've heard. Their ceiling is like 3 still. Like it's not that high of a ceiling here. And obviously, we talked about Clemson. I got Clemson as a pretender. California, I talked about their offense already, the upgrade there, and how good they could be. And I think a lot of people are overlooking that. I think people are overlooking the continuity that Virginia has. And I think Bo Pribula played pretty well at Missouri. Missouri fans feel salty. I don't really know why. And I'm actually circling Syracuse because if Stephen Jelly can stay upright and stay healthy, he's very valuable to that team. And then if they can get Calvin Russell, I believe he was a 5-star recruit, if not a high star recruit, if they could get him back about mid-season off of his Achilles injury, they're going to be dangerous. And I think people are overlooking Syracuse a little bit.
You just wanted to.
I can see that.
My two sleepers are Pitt and Georgia Tech. Actually, the reason that I picked Pitt is because I see there's a lot returning. Right, I mean they didn't lose a lot, they didn't gain a lot, but um, they're returning a lot. So I see some potential upside, and I think that they could make some noise. Not saying that they're going to go 11-1 or 12-0 in the ACC, but I could see a potential 9-3, maybe 10-2 possibility. Um, and Georgia Tech, man, like I've said before, Georgia Tech, man, uh, they brought in a lot, and I'm really high on Brent Key. By the way, I love him as a coach. Um, and he's had you know to bring in some guys you know that are big names. I mean, household names. I mean, Justice Haynes and I mean, I know a lot of people don't really know Alberto, but I mean, they know Mendoza. So I mean, we seen what his older brother did last year. I mean, he won the Heisman. A lot of people I hear say that are saying that he was even better than his brother now. But I mean, that could just be some some people that are haters on Fernando.
Yeah, I kind of like both of those teams too. And I agree with you about Brent Key, by the way. The offensive line, that position, I believe will always be good under Brent Key, which is why I think that their run game is going to be really explosive. Same's the one we know about. Malachi Osley is a really good player too. So I don't want to overlook him too much. So, well said. The only reason I did, because I don't have them over either of those teams, Pitt or Georgia Tech. I don't have either of them really falling off the map, but I don't have them overachieving against to an extreme degree. Does that make sense?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Collin, you cut out the last part.
Did I?
For me, you did. Did he for you, John?
John?
Yeah, I'm currently on mute. My dog's all fired up talking about college football. But if you can, Colin, repeat that last part because
Okay, so I did cut
I'm
out.
listening to it. Yeah,
All right, so I
yeah.
did
Go
cut
ahead,
out.
give us that last part.
I can make that thing so big. That's crazy. There you go, Shawn. So I had to add Shawn here. All I was kind of saying is, I'm high on both of those teams that Shawn was talking about. I'm trying to fix this right now. I'm high on both of the teams that Shawn was talking about. However, it's just they're not going to overachieve expectations like crazy. They're just really not, which is why I didn't put them as a sleeper. But I get why you're high on them.
Yeah. I think we need to go ahead and move on.
Yeah, we got to move on.
I'm gonna give y'all my bottom of the barrel teams. I got Wake Forest going 4-8. I know they came off a good bowl year. They won the Duke's Mayo Bowl, which I was at. But they are replacing Jaden Loveling, which I mean I know he's not a skilled guy, but it's still a big deal. And he went to your team actually, Colin. And then I got Syracuse. As high as I am on the quarterback, I think they could possibly upset somebody, but I hope the rest of the offense can be clicking with Stephen Jelly. He's going to make plays. He's a playmaker. He's going to get who needs the ball. And then Boston College and Stanford at the very bottom of the barrel. I wouldn't be surprised if those two teams go 1-1.
Yeah, I just wrote down Boston College and Stanford. I think that those teams that you mentioned, Wake Forest and Syracuse, are going to be a lot more competitive. But Boston College, they got Mason McKenzie in there from Saginaw Valley State. I've watched some film. He's a fun little playmaker. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's an experiment, though, with Bill O'Brien just not hiring an OC and taking that role on himself. I don't know how that's going to work. And Andrew Luck's up there. He must have dealt with CTE way too much because some of the decisions that this clown is doing. Hire Richard as your head coach, having that false freaking bull crap to get rid of Troy Taylor and bringing in Frank Reich with that garbage. And you know who their starting quarterback is over at Stanford? Can either of you guys tell me?
Not off the top of my head. I don't know
Do you
why
remember
you're trying to
Davis Warren from Michigan? Do you remember Davis Warren from Michigan? Him.
Yeah, I know him.
Who had 60 yards against Ohio State? Who couldn't throw the ball longer than 10 yards? That kid.
He wasn't very good.
He was terrible. He was the worst quarterback I think I've ever seen in the Big Ten. So, and I think Michigan would agree. Stanford is a clown show. I hope they go 0-12. I hate Stanford.
I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you my two bottom of the barrel. My bottom of the barrel is Boston College and Stanford as well. I see Wake Forest could be down there, but I think that they're gonna be somewhat better, but I think that their record, isn't great, if that makes sense. Like
And
go ahead.
And that reflects that way for, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that reflects that way for a lot of teams, Shawn. There's some teams that are going to win a lot of games that record is not necessarily going to mean they're that good. It's something I talked about on last episode. And there's some teams that are going to lose a lot of games that their record doesn't necessarily reflect they're that bad. I mean, you look at the schedule Ohio State drew in the Big Ten, and you give it to Penn State, and we're having a different conversation about Penn State going into this season. You give Ohio State that Penn State schedule, Ohio State's going 12-0, no questions asked. But with that being said, don't talk bad about my boy Andrew Luck. First of all,
It's
Colin. The
terrible.
Colts, I can't help the Colts. protection. But second of all,
No,
just to
you're
throw this
not
out
getting
here
away
for
with that.
conversation before we get into players of the year, just to throw this in conversation for both of y'all, and we all three. And this was a question I was asked off the air the other day by a fan, another college football fan. Do you see a world where Boston College goes 6-6? And I said flat out no. I have them going 1-11, and I don't see a world where they go
Now I
six and
could see a
six.
world if Mason McKenzie really, if he's really like that, and Bill O'Brien's able to kind of call plays the way that he's capable of, I could see them making a bowl game. I highly doubt they will.
I don't see them
right,
winning
so
more than 3 football games, man. I say I got them. They're dude. I got them going 3-9, dude.
right.
They are just god awful, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not necessarily with
All
you,
right,
but
so when I did Player of the Year, I'm gonna do some honorable mentions. Malachi Tony, man, we've seen what he can do. He can run routes. He can catch footballs. He's a great wide receiver. Mark Fletcher, a power back that could get the game rolling good. Deuce Robinson, a vertical threat guy.
we didn't
Louisville's
really
running
talk
back,
about
man.
Florida
My
State.
mind went blank. Well, they're kind of not bottom of the barrel. They're not a sleeper, and they're going to go 5-7, and they're going to get embarrassed in Tuscaloosa.
Right.
Uh, but I've got to go with Darian Mensah because 3 of the players I just named on there play for who? Miami. And I didn't even name both the receivers. I just named one. He's got a star running back, 2-star receivers. Like, just put it into Heisman Trophy prospects. Say all 4 of those guys were Heisman finalists, so you're going to give the Heisman Trophy to the quarterback. So if I got to go with Player of the Year, I want to say Malachi Tony, but I know Mark Fletcher's going to have an argument for it. And I give it to Darian Mensah just because he's going to have all his skilled players could be in this conversation, so all of it's going to look good on him.
I,
So Darian Mensah's my Player of the Year.
I could see that, John. But here's my argument against that. Right, my argument against that is that all those guys split so much talent, and all those guys are going to make each other look good, but they're going to have to split those numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like Mark Fletcher's going to get his touches. Malachi Tony's going to make some noise, after he catches the ball and yards after catch and all that speed and juking and spin moves that he does, all that junk. I mean, he's going to make some noise for it, but I mean, Darian's going to also make some noise. So I see what you're saying, but I just don't think it happens because there's too much. If that makes sense, like I think they hurt each other. Is what I'm trying to say. They hurt each other by being as good as they are.
And could you see somebody from like Louisville, well, you haven't made your pick yet, but I'll ask anyway. Could you see like an Isaac Brown winning Player of the Year?
Actually, he's one of my honorable mentions. Yeah, he very well could make some noise, but I know we're going in order, so I was gonna let Collin go.
I'm going with Darian Mensah too. Look, some of the other guys that I considered in here, like Kevin Jennings, Isaac Brown, kind of like you guys mentioned. I think that Justice Haynes is going to have a really good year over at Georgia Tech as well. And Jaron Keeves-Anapolitelli, just got to keep on talking about him a little bit. But ultimately, Darian Mensah, he, in my opinion, is the best quarterback on the best team in this conference.
Yeah. So you're not going to get any arguments out of me. You may Shawn. He put him at number 4.
Yeah, man. I know y'all hating on me for putting him down so low. Hey, it is what it is. He's gonna have to show me something, man. I know he played good ball at Duke, man, but we'll see. We'll see what he's about when he's down there at Miami. I think he's the real deal. I just don't. I have my what ifs about him,
Yeah.
But I think we all have our what ifs about certain people. But my pick is Justice Haynes. Actually, that's funny you were talking about running backs, John. And Collin just said He thinks that he could probably have a great year. I think he does have a great year. I think this is his breakout year. I think this is where he proves something. I think this is, his moment where, it's finally his time to really shine. Um, I mean, did he have a great year at Michigan last year? Yeah. But this is the year that I think he actually breaks 1,000 yards rushing. Actually a little over. I think he rushes for about 1,300, 1,200 yards rushing this year. Has a great, like Collin mentioned earlier, great O line that can actually get the job done for him. And yeah, that's my pick, man. What y'all got?
I mean, I like Justin Haynes. He started his career out at Alabama. Obviously, when Saban left, he didn't want to play with. He only went to Alabama for Saban. That's already been vocalized. Uh, he went to Michigan. He broke out at Alabama. He broke out at Michigan, in which Alabama hasn't had a great run game, and that was Saban's last year too. We've been having offensive line troubles for a minute. It's just came to light because how bad they were this past season. But Justice Haynes went to Michigan and he broke out there. I just don't see him having the same performance as a team like Georgia Tech, man. Georgia Tech's overperformed a lot, and I've called it. Last 2 seasons, I've called it. I love Brent Key, but I do think they go into rebuild, and I think Mark Fletcher, he's a good power back in a better situation. Isaac Brown's a good exclusive back in a better situation, and if I had to rank running backs in the conference, I'm putting him like 3 at the best.
Wow.
But I don't hate your take.
I mean, Mark Fletcher, Isaac Brown, yeah, like I think he could be the best. But are we gonna pick our champion? Are we all agreeing on our champion? I feel like we're all going.
Probably. I mean, yeah.
That's all I'm gonna do right there until the end of the episode. Until I have to close.
There's too much firepower over there, man.
That on camera.
Yeah, you'll catch me doing the upside down, you dude, but you won't ever catch me doing the nah.
Hey.
There is a lot of talent there, man. It's kind of hard to argue that they won't win it. Like who is gonna have the weapons and the talent that can compete with Miami this year in the ACC?
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Since we're all in agreement, let me throw this out there, man. I gotta throw something out there. Things are flowing too good. I don't like it when things flow good like this. I want to fight with each other. I want to argue with each other. Okay? And I already tell you. I'll answer the question. Mario Cristobal hasn't won an ACC championship yet. Miami actually has never won an ACC championship yet. So what we're saying is a pretty big deal because is Mario Cristobal finally going to get over the hump and win an ACC championship? Is Miami finally going to get over the hump and win an ACC championship? My answer is yes, but that's something to consider, and that can steer this conversation up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we're
go ahead, Collin.
We're gonna just
agree again.
Have to see because like they're the clear favorite in this comp, and if they don't get it done here, it's just kind of like, are we serious right now? Are we serious? You serious?
What are they spending all this money on? Like, what are they spending all this money on for no reason? You know what I'm saying? Like
they offered our boy Ty a lot of money.
That's what I'm saying. They got the money, but now since they have the money, can they put their money where their mouth is when it matters? That's what I'm ready to see.
My only problem with Miami and NIL and transfer portal, and I'll let y'all make y'all's comments on my comment, and we'll close this out. We'll wrap this thing up. My only problem with Miami and quarterbacks is there's no develop. I haven't seen quarterback development yet. Okay, DJ Lagway was developed by somebody else. Carson Beck was developed by somebody else.
Ward.
Darian has been developed by Duke by somebody else. And this is the thing. You can't get told what happens when Mario Cristobal in Miami in a year where they can't. There's no quarterback to buy out, or they find themselves in a Brendan Sorsby situation. Miami's a fun town. I promise you, I can put some bets down, go to the strip club, and spend all my NIL money. They got the biggest strip club in the United States in Miami.
Why do you know that?
Hey,
That's a fun fact he just gave us. That's a fun fact.
I don't know if you I don't know if you watch this, but you know who you are if you are. My old gunny, he's a mass sergeant right now. He was stationed in Miami for 4 years, and he just pulled it up on the computer and showed me. He was like, "Yep, biggest strip club in the United States." He said it's a fun place. They cook gourmet food and everything. Hey, hey, guess what, man? I'm gonna go get me a Cuban. And in Miami, we'll go to a Miami game this year. We'll tailgate. We'll get us a Cuban. I'll go to the biggest strip club in the world. I'll tell y'all how it is.
My gosh.
For experimental purposes. Just come back on the podcast, tell everybody how it was.
My gosh. Well, we got the same champion, so
This has been a good one.
But
yeah.
I
A
believe
little kinky, but we're working through it.
Yeah, hey, we all had our service connection problems, our internet issues, our technical difficulties.
I don't know.
Hey, but
other
it's
than
been
the one
fun.
cutout, I think I did a good job.
Yeah, you did.
I'll go ahead and wrap this up then. If we don't want any pushback about the Miami quarterback development, if I'm not going to get any pushback from that, I'll wrap it up. But I thought it would be an interesting topic. Y'all must have agreed with me on that too. We got to stop agreeing so much, dadgummit.
Well, hey, Cam Ward was freaking developed by Washington State, so I mean, we all agree.
That's what I'm saying. That's something people don't want to talk about, though, but it's a true statement. But anyway, we talked about college football's biggest traps today. We previewed Notre Dame. We gave our ACC top 5 quarterbacks, and we gave our ACC predictions. If you can, please follow Collin at well, it was in the bottom, but it's Bosch CFB Show on TikTok, and he has his own page on YouTube as well. He does his own show by himself.
And we're gonna
Please follow the Hello Sports
real
Podcast.
quick. We're going to be getting a lot of content pushed out there very soon. The week of week 0, you're seeing Monday, correct, John? Right? We're posting this Monday, right? Okay.
Yeah.
You guys are seeing this on Monday. I guarantee you I got a video uploaded over there right now that's new. This whole setup you're seeing that we're playing with here, I'm also going to be playing with it over on that channel. So make sure you guys check that out. And John, before we go, just to kind of maybe tease the audience, I'm going to talk to this dude about him doing his own solo content on YouTube. And I think he'd do a great job with it. So we're going to talk about that.
All right, so now he has put me on the spot. This has been nothing talked about behind the scenes.
Nope.
So I guess y'all will find out soon enough what my decision is. And please follow the podcast on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram at the Oh Hello Sports Podcast. I also post content on TikTok as well. Personally, JohnWaylon Hollis is my first and last name. Shawn Bickerton runs really good lives on TikTok. He hasn't gotten to posted content yet, but I'm really going to talk to this dude about posting content on TikTok. We need to see it. If we can get Shawn to post content on TikTok, you might see my own show. And please, if you're watching on Spotify, give us 5 stars. It points us out the recommendations where they need to go. I'm not asking a lot. If you watch the show, it pushes it out. It makes it better. It doesn't cost you a dime. Subscribe on YouTube, Spotify. It doesn't cost you a dime. Help us grow. And with that being said, Shawn, are we going to see some content coming soon?
Hey, we can make a deal.
All right, maybe I may be getting my own show. With that being said, toodles.